what you see in the future. As I think about specific leaders, you mentioned dispensationalism. You mentioned I think about leaders who are heading off the scene, who've even admitted that their time is short. Well, I didn't say that. I'm not saying that part. But we're watching a generation that has gone ahead of us move off the scene. As I consider that, as others consider that reality, we're nervous about what the future holds when we kind of look along the landscape of evangelicalism to see who's leading and where that leadership is headed. What do you see in 3 years, 5 years, 10 years from now in the way of leadership and kind of the trajectory of evangelical culture? I know it's a broad question.
Well, I'm post-millennial, so I'm not nervous about the future.
Good.
There will be bumps in the road, but I will tell you this about, despite my critical comments about young men, there's a good thing that tends to happen. Young men grow older, and a lot of times they just get smarter, and I bet one day a few of them will say, that White and Sandlin and Wilson, I didn't like them, but what they said was probably true.
Right.
So, and recognizing the power of the Holy Spirit and just the general development of maturity in men. Now, will that be true of all of them? No. Some people are perpetually immature. But I'm not worried about the future. I think God raises up leaders. He just does it every generation. I think it was it Rosenstock Husey said something like this. There's a tendency of old men to think that the world is dying with them.
Yeah.
But it isn't.
Right.
God's constantly renewing, and he'll raise up a young generation.
That's great.
Charles de Gaulle once said, the graveyards are full of indispensable men. And I know, so it says in 1 John that the glory of young men is their strength, right?
Yes.
And you find with all young men, you're going to have to say whoa more than you say giddy up. You're steady, steady, steady. But we were like that, and the generation before was like that. And I've got I know names that I could name of young men that I believe are going to be remarkable leaders in the church when we're up in heaven sipping umbrella drinks or whatever.
That's good.
You're going to have one too.
I had some water. Keep my levels low.
You're going to be all done with this water business.
I watch y'all do y'all's thing.
Yeah, no, I've done the same thing. I am very much focused upon encouraging the next generations. I see these young men. I was so excited to see Wes Huff on Rogan, and Wes has done stuff with Ezra Institute and things like that up there in Canada, and that was exciting to see. Jeremiah Nortier in Jonesboro. I see all these young people. Look, even Jeff and Luke and Zach are young in comparison to me, and they remind me of that pretty much every church service regularly. We actually had to keep some she-bears out once after they reminded me of that kind of stuff. But no, the Lord builds his church, and the Lord is going to continue to mature the leaders. You don't have to worry about those things, but what I want to do is I want to encourage them. One of the things that sometimes us older folks do is we hold on to land that we should be giving to the young people, and we need to know when to make that transition as well. And they need to be the ones going, but I don't want you to go, I need your wisdom, and that partnership I think is vital.
We have that in David's life when David is returning to Jerusalem after the failed attempt by Absalom. Barzillai, an old man, had met David with supplies on the way out. And when David is coming back to a restored kingdom, he offers Barzillai a place in Jerusalem. Come. And Barzillai refuses. He says, I'm not up to that. What you're asking me to do, I'm not up for that. He knows when to retire. He knows when to step off the stage gracefully. And he's a good model